But how deep did his connections go here in New Mexico? And just who knew what was happening right here in our backyard? Something our legislators now want answers to.
We do have corrupt politicians and we do have corrupt people in government, and maybe there were strings pulled.
Our investigation found that New Mexico's laws were perfect for Epstein. We did not have a human trafficking law. State law at the time made it difficult for victims of sexual assault to report their abuse, and he did not have to register as a sex offender. We also found that investigation into what occurred here at Zorro Ranch started after Epstein was arrested in 2019 in New York, but was never completed. We also found that Epstein had plenty of connections to the most powerful people in our state.
I think New Mexico chose Jeffrey Epstein.
The land office did not dig deep enough, did not ask enough questions, and did not have an idea of what was occurring on our land.
Had they been able to have a crystal ball and see what kinds of things Jeffrey Epstein became involved in, that they would have never sold him the property. I think early on in campaigns, we knew that he was a businessman and solicited campaign contributions from him. And when you're campaigning, you pretty much reach out to everybody you know.
It wasn't until 2014 when those contributions became controversial. Gary King unsuccessfully ran for governor, trying to follow in his father's footsteps. King says, unbeknownst to him, companies owned by Epstein donated money. At the time, Epstein was 5 years removed from being convicted of soliciting a teenage prostitute in Florida. King said accepting the donations from companies owned by Epstein was an oversight by his staff and announced he would give the money back.
I had a conversation with Mr. Epstein and he said that he wanted to contribute to my campaign, accept a contribution from him. Actually, I think I even said, wouldn't be good for me, wouldn't be good for you.
Documents released by the Department of Justice show Gary King and his running mate, Deb Haaland, took a trip on this plane from Santa Fe to Washington, D.C. to meet with union leaders. The flight happened the same day he returned the money. The plane was booked by an Epstein-owned company. King has maintained that he was unaware the plane was arranged by Epstein.
I found out actually only after the release of all these Epstein documents.
However, these emails seem to show otherwise. Someone sent Epstein an email indicating that Gary King wanted to speak with him about possibly using his plane to get from Santa Fe to DC. And Epstein also received an email alerting him that King was on the flight. But King questions the validity of the emails.
And I don't know how credible it is. I don't know who wrote it.
You think it was fabricated?
I don't know that it's fabricated, like fabricated after the fact. I just think that whoever wrote that email might not have understood what I understood, which was that our campaign was going to charter that airplane and that we paid for it.
Documents also show that King was in communication with Epstein leading up to the flight. In this email to Epstein from his personal assistant months earlier, she wrote, "Please call Gary King. He looks very forward to speaking with you." This one says, quote, "Gary King just called. Apologize for not returning your call sooner." King has maintained he barely knew Epstein.
How many times do you actually remember meeting Epstein in person?
That's simple. I met him once in person.